It's summertime, 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 summertime. Bow, bow. Shut them books and go away. Say goodbye to doleful days. Look alive and change your ways. It's summertime. No more studying history and no more reading geography and no more going on TV because it's summertime. Time to head straight for the hills. It's time to live and pass the bills. Come along and have a ball or regular free-for-all. Are you coming on? You slowpoke from the one complaint. Hurry up before I faint. It's summertime. I'm so happy that I can put more how I love you. Take a trip, I'm sorry, teacher, but simply let's because it's summertime. Time to head straight for the hills. It's time to live and have some thrills. Come along and have a ball, a regular free-for-all. We'll go swimming every day. We're just time to play. If your folks complain, just say it's summertime. Every night we'll have a dance, 'cause once a vacation is out for man, so man, this jive has me in a trance because it's summertime. Time to head straight for the hills. It's time to live and have some thrills. Come along and have a ball, a regular free-for-all. It's summertime, 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 summertime. It's summertime.
Not necessarily the news. Summer edition with Annabelle Gurwitch and Tom Parks. Contributing editor Merrill Marco. Special appearance by Fred Willard. And special guest star Lucy Webb. Brought to you tonight by Sandcastle Savings and Loan. All deposits fully insured up to $100,000 by the United States government. And by Bic. Works every time. And now, not necessarily the news. Summer edition.
Good evening. I'm Annabelle Gurwitch.
And I'm Tom Parks, and welcome to Not Necessarily the News Summer Edition.
And for all of our viewers in New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina, welcome to Not Necessarily the News Winter Edition.
It's still the same fine show. And now our top story. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics has been disbanded on the basis that it isn't a union, it isn't Soviet, it's no longer socialist, and it never was republics. The new, much looser confederation will be known as the of. With the savings and loan bailout price tag now growing into the hundreds of billions of dollars, government economists are finding it harder and harder to work with, let alone comprehend such large numbers. To remedy the situation, Congress today decided that from now on, any number over 100 billion will simply be referred to as a shitload. The savings and loan scandal has affected many people, but none so tragically as the first family itself. Neil Bush, the president's son, is caught up in the whole thing, and his father has let everyone know just how he feels.
And it takes a snake, a cold-blooded snake, to betray the trust and innocence of hardworking people. And so if we have to look under rocks to find these white-collar criminals, then we will leave no stone unturned.
Those shots of Neil Bush before was file footage, by the way, and he's still at large. Federal investigators continue to look under rocks and have vowed to leave no stone unturned. Annabelle.
In an attempt to meet new federal regulations requiring child safety seats on airplanes and at the same time attract new travelers, the airlines today announced the development of a new child seat designed specifically to meet the needs of all flyers. Crack cocaine, once an inner-city phenomena, has apparently found its way this summer into our pristine national parks, prompting rangers there to post new signs. And in Europe, German officials report that due to the recent changes in East-West relations, unemployed spies are now roaming the streets aimlessly. Imelda Marcos, accused of robbing the Philippines' national treasury of over $200 million, has been acquitted on all charges. Apparently, her lawyer convinced the jury she was too busy spending the money to have been also involved in stealing it.
And it was just announced that the infamous Dart Man, who preyed on women in New York City by using a blowgun to shoot darts at their buttocks, will be the subject of a forthcoming miniseries on the Fox network. The Dart Man will be played by the Dice Man.
Coming up, police announced more difficult sobriety tests.
New from Time Life Books, an extraordinary exhibit of photographic art. The Mapplethorpe Collection in 10 monthly volumes. Praised and reviled, this daunting collection includes pictures of flowers, muscular naked black men, little naked white boys. Nothing is left out. Perhaps you didn't get to visit this historic exhibit in Cincinnati. Now, Time Life Books brings it home to you. Volume 1 is yours for only $14.95. Volumes 2 through 10 will follow monthly. Order now, and you'll also receive this fine print of Andre Serrano's Christ in Urine, suitable for framing. If not completely satisfied, return within 30 days and your money will be cheerfully refunded.
What a disgrace.
Mandela doesn't tour very often, and when he does, you can't see him just anywhere. And you can't see him with American Express. Because this summer, Mandela is only touring cities with large minority populations, and he's only taking Visa. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Are pressures of your work causing you to become irritable and short-tempered? Are you tense, harassed, unappreciated? Are you suffering from work-induced depression or fatigue? If so, you could be eligible for big disability judgment. Call Dubrovnik and Vacik for free consultation. It won't cost a ruble unless you win, so why not call today?
At 1,184,880 miles, the Mercedes-Benz 180D is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most durable car. How far can a Mercedes go? Frankly, nobody knows.
Embarrassed by the shocking revelation that black men in our own inner-city neighborhoods are less likely to live to the age of 65 than men in Bangladesh, the Bush administration sprung into action by cutting off aid to Bangladesh.
Looking ahead to 1992, Democrats are pinning their hopes of recapturing the White House on the exciting Senate Majority Leader, George Mitchell, whose charisma will stand out against Bush's cautious evasions.
I think it's premature to speculate on what might be in the agreement and then to speculate on top of that speculation as to what someone might say about that speculated agreement and then to speculate as to what someone might respond to that speculation about that speculated agreement.
In the Soviet Union, the first ever two-party elections were held. The votes are now being counted, and officials say the election is still too close to call.
Count. Don't count. Don't count. Count.
And after a crescendo of criticism from all quarters, the South African government has decided to stop the brutal beating and killing for profit of baby seals. They agreed to limit such treatment to blacks.
According to the current issue of Forbes magazine, the world's wealthiest person is a Japanese man named Yoshiaki Sosumi. Sosumi, who is worth $16 billion, made his fortune by getting people to sue him. Dick Tracy. No story, just didn't want to miss out on the hype. Coming up, Soviet citizens celebrate President Gorbachev's sweeping economic reforms.
Thank you, hon. You know, when it comes to what I eat, I like having a choice. The same thing goes for what I drink and smoke. It's my choice. And to my way of thinking, the same thing holds true for owning a gun. It's my choice to own a gun if I want to. Choice, having a choice, being in control of our own lives. That's what it means to be an American. But when it comes to the issue of abortion, I'm against choice. Why? Well, first of all, it's my choice to not choose, I guess. That is, I choose to not choose, and by doing so, make my choice. What I mean is,
Cut.
Global warming. It's not just a theory, it's a fact. Tons of hydrocarbons entering the atmosphere daily. A steady rise in the Earth's mean temperature. A thinning of the protective ozone layer. Forests dying. Grasslands withering. Lakes drying up. Global warming. It's not coming tomorrow. It's here today. Aren't you glad you use Dial?
And now, here is some advice for people who have to live with or near sports fans. Merrill Marco.
Thanks, Annabelle. Well, baseball season is upon us, and to the baseball fan, this means endless hours of games broadcast on TV, trips out to the old ballpark. Big fun for the fan, but what about the person who lives with the fan or dates the fan and just doesn't care? This familiar problem is one I'm going to address today at great personal risk because, except for the faking of orgasm, nothing makes men more pissed off. My topic today, not for women only, but probably for women especially, is how to fake interest in baseball. Those of you who are emotionally involved may prefer not to watch.
Yes, all right.
If your baseball fan is anything like the guys I've known, you're probably not going to be consulted about seat location. But just in case you do have any influence, see if you can get seats between third base and home plate. You know, nothing keeps a potentially foggy brain fresh and alert like the very real threat of a broken face. Oh, look, she's dead.
1 second, the bat's got 2 strikes.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. You know, there's a second useful purpose to all this danger. Terror really helps you build up a good appetite, which is what you're going to need in order to really enjoy these poisonous meat and fried dough snacks. You know, what difference do a few extra pounds make when you're on death's door anyway? I encourage you to think of your trip to the stadium as a visit to a giant open-air restaurant with really horrible ambiance. Couldn't you just listen to that song all night? Good, because you're going to have to. While you eat, emulate your date by keeping your eye on the game at all times. To help motivate you, bring along these binoculars so you can scour the field for cute guys. Memorize the names and numbers of the really cute ones so you can follow their careers from scandalous palimony suits to ugly fraternity suits as they travel the colorful road to felonies and underwear modeling. Honey, is that the one whose girlfriend was on Oprah or the one who dated Belinda Carlisle?
Second, they're gonna walk her. Do you believe that? Damn!
Be sure and follow the crowd. When they boo, you boo.
Boo!
When they cheer, you cheer. When they do the wave, you just smirk and keep eating. You know, the wave is one of the few individual behavioral options you get at the ballpark, so I say enjoy a pointlessly rebellious moment on the house.
Damn, what are they thinking about sending that clown into the game?
Damn! Maybe by now you're longing for some conversation with your beloved. Darling, I was wondering how you thought the relationship was going.
1 second. The bases are loaded and the batter's got a full count.
Men hate for women to babble on during a ball game. On the other hand, if you never speak to each other the whole time, that's kind of weird too. So what do? Well, memorize the following sentence and ask it with an air of quizzical bemusement. Darling, what was the difference between the batting average and the slugging average again?
The batting average is the number of hits against the appearances at plate. In other words, times at bats. So let's say you get 3 hits per 10 times at bats. That means you're batting.
So the great thing about this is now you can just relax and take a nap. Because guys who like baseball think this is having a conversation.
Total bases. That way you're awarded if you get a double, triple, etc., whatever.
Thank you for that, darling. You know, I never get tired of listening to you talk about baseball. You know, there is one shortcut to all this, and that's to fake maniacal team loyalty to a team that gets eliminated early in the season. For instance, most years the Cubs are safe. This year I understand the Cardinals are a good bet. Then all you have to do is the following.
Did you see what just happened? Are you even paying any attention?
You know, I'm sorry. I'm just not into it this year. Not since the Cubs got beat. Now you can do whatever you want. See you at the ballpark.
Honey, are you all right?
No.
Well, do you think there was something wrong with your dinner?
Yes.
Did you pay for it with your American Express card?
Yes.
Good.
With the American Express Buyer's Protection Plan, if you charge your meal to your American Express card and throw up afterward, we pay for the meal. It's as simple as that. The American Express Buyer's Protection Plan, because membership has its privileges.
Amtrak to Chicago. It's not just a train ride anymore.
Mr. Vice President, a two-part question, please. What is your name and what do you do?
Repeat the first part of that. The first part of the question was...
So we, the trustees, are pleased to present President George Bush with the honorary degree of Doctor of Economics and to recognize the work he's done to pull a few strings for us guys in the upper brackets. How about a hand for the president? Let's hear it for him. How about it, folks? What do you say? Let's hear it for the president. This is the president of the United States, folks. Come on. That's it. That's it. He's our president. Keep it up. Keep applauding. That's right.
Quick, who can spell Ronald Reagan? Okay, you there.
Ronald Reagan. R-E-A-G-A-N.
America, we're still taller.
Well, New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner has done it again. Last night, he fired recently hired Stump Merrill and replaced him with a man who has never managed in the major leagues before.
I am a Yankee.
When asked what he needed most, new manager Mandela moaned, pitching, pitching, pitching. In other sports news, George Foreman, the 40-something former world heavyweight champ, has announced his next opponent on the comeback trail, an unbeaten, unranked 7-foot Australian named Rocky Roode.
Well, construction began today on the new Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. A spokesman said that the library will be built upon a foundation already established by the Reagan administration. Contrary to rumors, ABC announced that it will not be bringing back Elvis: The Early Years. Although the series was taken off the air last winter, a number of people have reported still seeing it. Coming up, Merrill Marco, and later, we'll talk to some people who've just seen the new Jetsons movie. Now this.
It's another social function. You're feeling nervous and out of place. You'd like to mingle, but you just don't have the confidence. Wouldn't you rather be the life of the party? Well, now you can. With Fidelity, a new masculine scent as distinctive and powerful as the man for whom it was named. Old world charm with a dash of Cuban spice. Fidelity. Be a party leader, not a party loser.
Americans are being more responsible about their consumption of alcohol, and that's a good thing. But drinking is part of America. Not just casual drinking, but falling down slurred speech, tossing your cookies drunk. So this summer, if you're going to be responsible, don't forego tradition. If you're not drinking, bring along a designated drinker. A good time and responsibility with Budweiser and the designated drinker.
Tonight, we're going to run my exclusive interview with Donald Trump, the troubled billionaire who some say may soon be just a millionaire. We met in his vast penthouse suite atop the recently opened Taj Mahal Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Instead of talking about money, success, Ivana, or Marla, I was more interested in the real Donald Trump. I wanted to know what the real Donald Trump was like. Was the real Donald Trump happy? Donald Trump, are you happy?
I think that I'm a content person. I'm satisfied with what I've done. I love what I've achieved. I don't really think of myself as being happy or sad. I don't have enough time to think about it, which is probably a positive thing, but I am certainly somebody that's content. I love the creative process. I love what I'm doing. I mean, whether it's creating the Taj Mahal or building Trump Tower, I love what I'm doing. Somebody would say that I'm ambitious. And I say I'm not ambitious, and I mean I'm not ambitious. I just really enjoy what I do. I love getting up in the morning. I love creating a Taj Mahal. I love creating the many buildings that I've created. I love what I'm doing.
That's wonderful.
I love construction.
That's terrific.
I love the creative process, and I love winning. I was the best student in school. I was the best this, the best that. I went through this big company. I was always the best.
So, you're very smart. Is that the secret to being happy, being smart?
You know, in life, you need energy as well as brains. Brains is always number one, but you need energy. And if you don't have drive, enthusiasm, energy...
So what is it, energy?
I know so many people. I have friends that went to the Wharton School with me. These guys have 195 IQ, but they don't quite have the energy level. If you don't have the energy level, write it off.
So then it's energy, and that's the secret to being happy. Donald Trump, we're out of time. It's been a real pleasure.
It's very interesting. I have an ego, but all people that are successful have an ego. I've never met a successful person that didn't have an ego. Everybody, you have an ego. Frank Sinatra.
Mr. Trump, I'm sorry, but we really are out of time. It's been great. Thank you for giving us a chance to see this fabulous building.
People love this building.
I'm sure they do.
They just love this building.
Right. Well, thanks again.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. This is Pam. This is your brain on drugs with Pam. See? Doesn't stick. If you use drugs, get Pam. And now, it's time for Can This Marriage Be Saved? With the inquisitive, incomparable Marcia Yandel. And Marcia's celebrity guests, Bob and Elizabeth Dole.
Welcome, and welcome to you both. Well, we're so grateful to you for having us on this program tonight. We get to see one another.
Nothing to eat, but we, you know.
Why, are you hungry, Bob? Don't you get enough to eat at home?
Elizabeth,
Bob, there's a whole new breed of women out there today who don't cook for their husbands.
Well, I think Elizabeth's a new breed. I'm not me, but she's still in the new breed category, but...
All right. So Elizabeth doesn't cook. But somebody must pick up the phone to the nearest takeout joint and order out.
Who picks up the phone?
Yeah.
Thought it'd be Elizabeth.
No. Now, wait a minute, Elizabeth. You don't cook. You won't pick up the phone. The man is starving to death. No wonder your marriage is falling apart. Many couples have these kinds of problems, and I'm sure they don't go very deep.
But it's almost a bottomless pit.
Well, let's not exaggerate, Bob. What about the fact that you never get to see one another? Isn't that really the big problem here?
It appears so, yes.
So what happens when something very important comes up?
When he really must communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
He may pick up the phone to you on something, or you get a little note from him.
And that's as intimate as it gets? Just a little note? Well, in that case, I think we're going to have to talk about sex.
Oh, come on now. We're not going to do that on this show, are we?
Well, not if you feel uncomfortable about it, Elizabeth, but if I can make an observation here, perhaps if you would feed this man, you would get a little more action between the sheets. I understand that Bob has been telling this story around the Senate cloakroom about an undernourished lobbyist who happens to...
I don't even want to hear about the jokes. I don't even want to hear it. Just don't bother telling me about that.
I think we struck a nerve there, Elizabeth. Didn't we? What about on the plus side? Is there something that you especially enjoy about Bob?
His dog, Stanley. He plays the harmonica, and Stanley goes, woo, and sings. You know, it's wonderful.
Well, now that is just great. I want you to start thinking about that and how you can build on that experience, and we'll talk more about it when we come back. I'm Marcia Yandel, and I'm here with Secretary of Labor Elizabeth Dole, her starving husband, Senator Bob Dole, and the dog Stanley, who goes woo and sings. We'll be right back. You stay with us.
Good day, mate. But she'd find it's tough to beat an authentic Aussie nail driving contest.
I hate Australians.
Or maybe you'd rather put your life on the line in a good old Aussie fish throw. And I don't mean as a contestant.
I hate Australians.
Camel races, bungee diving, dwarf throws, fly swats. It's non-stop fun down under.
I hate Australians.
Or if eating's your thing, how about an ostrich egg eating contest?
This message brought to you by the Australian Board of Tourism.
I hate the Australian Board of Tourism.
Hey, Danny boy. Hey, come on over here and shake my hand, you big dummy. Remember when I used to call you big dummy, you big dummy? Hey, how about a few snapshots for the home folks, old pal? Hey, I see you brought the missus. You getting any, Danny boy? If not, you know who to call while you're in town. I know some terrific ladies in these here parts. Well, here we go. It's sure good to see you, you big dummy.
Smiling. Oh, shake hands now. Shake hands. Shake hands. There you go. Good. Now, gentlemen, cross your legs. Cross your... Oh, that's... Oh, great. Good.
Hey, no pictures.
No pictures, boys.
No pictures.
No pictures.
No pictures.
No pictures. No pictures. No pictures.
In the wake of Lithuania's bold declaration of independence, secessionist fever has now spread to Latvia, Estonia, Quebec, and North Carolina. First Lady Barbara Bush's campaign to wipe out illiteracy got underway this week as a mailing went out to over 100,000 illiterates across the United States. So far, though, the response has been disappointing.
Organizers of last weekend's Environment First rally said that the turnout was so great that additional space had to be created. Very resourceful. Annabelle?
Coming up, Romanian Parliament makes a decision.
Okay, all in favor of seeing Die Hard 2, raise your hand.
With so many doctors out there, it's hard to know who to trust. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Bayer aspirin for minor aches and pains. 4 out of 5. That's why I go to the 5th doctor. He'll give me all the drugs I want and then make up an illness for the insurance company. In addition, he'll file with Medicare for procedures he never performed, and then we split all the money they send. And that makes me feel better than any Bayer aspirin ever could.
The 5th Doctor. Give it a shot.
Pepsi Cola, it is good. Tastes just like a cola should. 7 ounces, that's a lot. Tastes good cold, but not bad hot.
It's a fly swatter.
It's a spatula.
It's a fly swatter.
It's a spatula.
It's a fly swatter.
It's a spatula.
Hey, wait. You're both right. It's a fly swatter and a spatula. The new all-purpose kitchen tool from Rubbermaid.
Well, summer vacation is supposed to be fun, but it can also be a living hell if you don't plan it carefully. And one of the problem areas can be that the weary fun seeker is at the mercy night after night of a lot of terrible restaurants.
So true. So to help you avoid the possibility of yet another really bad meal is correspondent and licensed restaurant patron Merrill Marco with tips on how to screen a restaurant before you place your order and it's just too late.
Thanks, kids. Okay, rule number 1. Never eat at a place that has an excessively cute or whimsical name, like one that indicates it was founded by some kind of a fictitious curmudgeon that wears a monocle, or one that assigns a personality to the food it serves, like, for instance, the happy turnip or the contented cow, particularly if this is accompanied by a cartoon of the dinner dressed in a sailor suit dancing the hornpipe. Any restaurant that wants you to imagine your food having a great time on shore leave just minutes before its death is run by sadists and does not deserve your patronage. All right, clearing that, you move into the restaurant, bringing us to rule number 2. Never eat in any restaurant that decorates with the remnants of transportational vehicles. By this, I mean portions of cable cars, sections of train derailments, World War II air disasters, stagecoach wheels, especially things nautical. Try to remember that I think it's Newton's 3rd law of physics that tells us that it's impossible for fish nets full of glass balls and good food to occupy the same space at the same time. Okay, now if you're clear so far, now you agree to be seated. Of course, you want to make sure that you're seated at a table on a chair, not on an antique container of battery acid or something. Which brings me to rule number 3. This is very important. Check out the menu for the appropriate degree of menu-ness. By this I mean, it ought to look like a menu. It ought to be rectangular in shape with a seam in the middle. It should have food on one side. It should have prices on the other side. It shouldn't give a brief history of the whaling industry. It should not pretend that this is another century. It should not be written on a canoe paddle. It should not be hand-lettered across some guy's butt. Lastly, check the menu for frequent use of the words "our world famous," as in our world famous cheesecake, our world famous salad bar. Not only are these things never world famous, but it can give you such pause for thought about the state of world fame in general that you probably could collapse into a searing depression from which you might never recover. And we don't need that, do we, kids?
No, we
No,
don't.
we really don't. Thank you, Meryl. We'll be right back.
New from Whammo, Flying Rocks. The greatest catch and throw toy since the Frisbee. Flying Rocks are unique. No two are alike. And every package comes with a complete set of instructions, so nobody gets left out of the fun. Flying Rocks from Whammo, a division of the Hezbollah.
Information.
Quick, I need the police. What's the number?
911.
Thanks.
Before 911 comes 411. Thursdays, right before 911.
Information.
What's the number for the House of Suede?
Spell that, please.
S-U-E-D.
411. Thursdays before 911. Brought to you by 7-Eleven.
I have an announcement. The producers of Not Necessarily the News would like to assure the public that at no time during the production of this program have we used tuna nets. Tuna nets can sometimes trap and kill dolphins. It's true that in the past we have used tuna nets, but that policy's been changed. Thank you.
Does your ignorance of the news keep you from conversing with others? Is USA Today too detailed for you? Well, now there's a cable channel just for you. The Cliff's Notes channel gives you the names of people and places in the news and the catchphrases required to tie them all together. You'll perceive that things are happening without having to know what they are.
So, what do you think Gorbachev's going to do about Lithuania? Well,
in any half-hour period, we'll give you the buzzwords you need to start a dialogue on any topic, from sports.
So, can you believe how much money they're going to pay Canseco? And his back is still only 80% healed.
To financial news.
The market is sure volatile, especially the junk bonds and commodities. And who knows what Trump is going to do, huh?
The Cliff's Notes channel. When you need to know that things are happening, but don't want to get involved.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Welcome to Satellite Conference. I'm Tom Parks. The subject tonight, Eastern Europe. My guest in the studio tonight, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who originally hails from Austria and who will help us see things from his unique perspective.
If you need my help, I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you. Also joining us tonight.
I am the kind of a guy that really wants to go out and do the job because I think I know how to do it. And
thank you, Arnold. That's fine. Also joining us tonight via satellite from Beverly Hills, Zsa Zsa Gabor. Miss Gabor, who currently resides in Southern California, is originally from Hungary. And also
In Europe, the cops are not allowed to put handcuffs on women.
Jaja will also help us see things from her unique perspective. Also joining us via satellite, also from Beverly Hills and also originally from Hungary, Eva Gabor. Welcome to all of you. Arnold, have you met the Gabor sisters?
We had a scene with Arnold in bed.
What? Is that true?
I have no idea what she's talking about, to be honest with you.
And I said, come on, Arnold, I'm so sleepy. Let's take a little nap.
It came about during the campaign. I was on a trip with President Bush, or then Vice President Bush.
We're getting a little far afield. The subject tonight is Eastern Europe. What changes can we expect? Jaja. Jaja? Eva, how about you?
I don't know. I wish I could answer you on that subject, but I really don't know.
Arnold? Eastern Europe? Well, we're running out of time. I'd like to thank my guests, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eva Gabor, and older sister, Jaja.
F off.
Pardon me?
F off, which in England means you can go.
Good night.
I was home one night when the phone rang. It was Bill at Citi's Bank.
I was going through her files, looking over her personal information, when I noticed a lot of restaurant charges.
He said that eating out all the time was an easy way to put on weight. I'd put on a few pounds in the last month or so, but I didn't think it showed.
I reminded her that she just bought one of those sexy lingerie outfits. The one with the push-up bra and garters. If she wasn't careful, she wasn't going to be able to fit into that size 8 anymore.
I admitted that I was aware of the problem, but I didn't know what to do. So he suggested a few health food restaurants, and we discussed the type of food I should be eating. Then he added that my boyfriend wasn't being very supportive of my dieting.
I also pointed out that he was seeing other women. I played some of his recent phone conversations so she could hear for herself.
He suggested I dump the guy. He was just so helpful. I don't know what I would have done without him.
I told her that at Citi's Bank, we want to know about our customers, so we keep a constant watch over their lives.
I had no idea that Citi's Bank kept such a close watch over me. It was so reassuring.
Citi's Bank. We're watching over you.
Coming up. Stereo telephones.
Hello.
Hey fans, Friday night is seat cushion night. All fans 14 years old and younger will receive a free seat cushion, an exact replica of the official seat cushion used by the major leagues and the only seat cushion officially licensed by Major League Baseball. Come on out Friday night and get your free seat cushion, and while you're at it, enjoy the game.
Once again, our top story. A woman was arrested in Argentina today for going topless at a bottomless-only's beach. In other news, it has been learned that former President Reagan, currently at work on his memoirs, has writer's block and can't think of anything to write about his 8 years as president. The former president was overheard to say, "God, I wish I'd taken notes."
The huge box office success of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie has set the three big networks scrambling for a piece of the action. So, come September, look for Delinquent Dyslexic Kamikaze Chameleons on NBC, Deformed Pubescent Kung Fu Newts on ABC, and on CBS, Acne-Ridden Adolescent Samurai Salamanders. Due to the drought conditions in the Southwest, officials have asked residents there to practice water conservation measures. According to experts, if everyone turned the faucet off when they brushed their teeth, it would save just enough water so that I could continue to take long, hot showers.
And finally, as we head into the dog days of summer, a time of heat and humidity and choking smog and mosquitoes and flies and gnats and all kinds of bugs that can not only bite you but spread disease, we'd like to say,
Good night.
This portion of Not Necessarily the News, Summer Edition, has been brought to you by Crayola Crayons. They're not just for kids anymore. And by Flat Tires. With a name like Flat, we have to be good.
Excuse me, Irv. Just give me the contract, okay? Thank you. Sam, get over here, would you?
Yes, Fidel.
Let's do this quickly. You got all my changes?
I took care of everything, Fidel. All you gotta do is sign.
We'll see about that. I don't sign before I read. Give me the pen. Right here, for example. You didn't change this, Sam. My name goes above the title, then Mel Gibson. Under. That's what we agreed to, Sam.
Here. I'll just initial that. Here.
Please don't write where I write. Make yourself useful. Go get some sandwiches. Sam, I'm very disappointed about this break-even point. We agreed it was out. I want a percentage of the gross. Everything else is out. I'm not dealing with anyone's concept of profit except mine, okay?
Sure, you're right, Fidel. My secretary screwed up. No problem.
Okay, blah, 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 and so forth, and so on. Look down here.
Huh?
Moral turpitude. Now, what is that all about?
Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
It's out. It's bullshit. I sleep with whoever I want. Herb, put me back off a little. You're breathing on me, kid. Thank you, Sam. I don't think you've been making the changes we talked about. My stomach's beginning to get upset here. Where's the exclusivity, Sam? I say I have to check you on everything.
No problem. It's out, Fidel.
Let's see here. Creative control. This means if I have an idea on the set, there's not going to be any trouble, right?
Right.
Because that's the way I work, spontaneous. I don't want some studio pendejo writing my dialogue.
It's all in there, Fidel.
Blah, blah, blah. The parking space is good, sir. Etc., etc. Here it is. The exclusivity is still in. Look, it says if I get a commercial, I can't do it. That's bullshit, Sam. That's out. The cassette clause is still the same. You split with the dog. Look here. Sam, I'm getting a little angry here. I really am.
Well,
This is terrible.
No, Fidel. You see where it says ignore paragraph C here and substitute subsection 4?
I don't see where.
It's here, Fidel. Look. Just do it. Look, here. Right here.
Jimmy's here, Fidel. Here.
Screw this. I want to read that and on my desk in the morning. This is out. Sidney Pollack is out. Raul is directing.
Are you going to fax this?
I don't know.
Go get us some sandwiches.
Read my taxes. No new lips.